Hello everyone, welcome to Gautham Digital Learning, and I'm your trainer Musab Sayed with around 13 plus years of industry experience. Now in the previous series of videos, I have shown you so many things regarding AWS Cloud. One more thing which I want you to understand today before we proceed with DevOps is security groups. See, security groups are exactly the same thing what we use in our laptops, desktop, or in our on-premise data center, that is called firewalls. Firewalls are going to protect your system against unauthorized accesses. For example, let me draw one picture and let me explain you my thing, what I wanted to let you know. Assume you are running a Windows machine, or maybe you are learning or you are installed a Linux machine. Now, how people can connect to your Windows machine and your Linux machine remotely? They uses certain services, and these services uses something called port numbers. For example, people are connecting to your machine. Maybe you have configured a web service, so they might use HTTP to connect. Or maybe you are using, for example, RDP if it is Windows, so people might be connecting through RDP service. Or maybe you have configured your machine for Linux communication, so they might use SSH. Or maybe you have used one more service over here, that is FTP, for transferring the data. These are all different services or applications through which people can connect to your Windows or Linux machine. Once they are connecting, they uses a specific doors, that is called ports. Ports are nothing but specific doors through which people can connect to your system. So HTTP uses a port number 80. If it is open, people can connect to your machine using 80. Or people will connect to your machine using 3369 or 3389, some port number for RDP. SSH uses port number 22. FTP uses port number 21. So different port numbers are there through which people can connect. Do you know total how many port numbers are there like that? Altogether we have 65,536 ports available. So just imagine, to connect to your machine, there are 65,000 doors that are available. Now, if you don't control that doors or ports, anytime your system security will be compromised and your system will be hacked out. So if you don't want that hacking and all, what we do is we go with a firewall concept. So what this firewall will do, it connects to your machine and make sure that no unauthorized accesses are allowed. See, firewalls are stateful. That means everything, whatever is there, all 65,000 ports or doors are locked. It won't allow anybody to freely connect to your machine. They locks that door, and they only allow that services which you have mentioned. Maybe you have told it to allow port number 80, so it will allow 80. Maybe you say allow port number 3389, it will allow that. Maybe you said allow port number 22, it will allow it. Maybe you said port number 21, it will allow. So out of 65,000, only specific port numbers are allowed. So same concept of firewall in AWS we call security group. So security group is nothing but the firewall that we use in AWS, a firewall created by AWS and to use with it. So normally what will happen is they control how the traffic comes in and out in AWS. So we have an instance created in AWS Cloud. Now people over the internet wants to connect to my instance. How they can connect? They will only allow to connect if my security group is allowing connectivity. So in security group you have to create rules, and in that rules you have to tell which service to be allowed and which service to be denied. So it controls all your incoming and outgoing, right? So what you can do, you can create one security group and allow all services. Maybe you are using SSH, allow it. Maybe you are using HTTP, allow it. Or maybe you are using Jenkins port number 8080, allow it. So single security group, you can create multiple rules. Or the most preferred is make separate security group for each concept. See, I'll make one security group for Linux, one security group for Windows. In Linux, I'll allow port number 22. In Windows, I'll allow RDP, and I'll create an HTTP or Jenkins, whatever I want, I can create. Let me show you how to deal with security group. So you need to go to any region. For example, I'm working in North California region. Doesn't matter, it can be any region of your choice. In here, under network and security, you can go to security group and you can create some security group and allow connectivity. So let me go to create a security group. In here, give some name to your security group. For example, I'm going to call it Linux SSH. Description is mandatory. Without giving description, you cannot continue. So I'll say, for example, allow SSH connection. Now here you have two types of rules: inbound, outbound. Inbound is the traffic that is coming from outside world to AWS. Outbound is the traffic going out from AWS to outside world. See, we only bother about incoming. Outgoing, we will allow any connectivity. I want my machines to connect to anyone, but I don't want anybody to connect from anywhere outside to mine. So we will be concerned about inbound rules. So you can go to add a rule. Here there are customized rules available. So in this you can select SSH. For connecting to Linux, I need SSH. Now who can connect? See, here you can say connect from anywhere. Anybody can connect to my machine using this 22 port number. If you want more, as I told you, in the same security group, you can add a rule for SMTP, you can add a rule for maybe LDAP, different options you can allow. But preferable is different security group for different options. Now, I'll say add a tag. See, tag is a beautiful thing to name your resources. Like you see, when you go for a shopping mall, you purchase a t-shirt or jeans, there is a tag describing all the details. So here also, it's a nice way to tell that what it is. So I'm going to go with name of my resource, which I'm going to call it Linux SSH security group. Let's say create security group, and you see your security group is created. If you go to security group, it says there is a Linux security group what you can use. Maybe now you want to edit, select the security group, go to inbound rule or go to outbound rule. See, in inbound, only SSH is allowed, and in outbound everything will be allowed. Same way, I can go for create security group. Maybe this time I'll create a security group for Windows and I'll say allow RDP. Go to add a rule. In this, select to RDP. Where is that fellow? Let's search it out over here. RDP. Here it is. Now RDP 3389 is the port number that it used. Again, I want to allow connectivity from anywhere. Now as soon as you say add a security group, it will be add, and better to give a tagging. So I'm going to call it Windows security. If you want to add a custom rule, then you can go to custom TCP, select any port number and select the connectivity from anywhere. That is also possible. Now, as soon as I say security group create, it is going to create your security group, and here you can view. How to use them? Go to instances, launch the instance, and while launching the instance, this time in network and security, I'm not going to say create security group. This time I'll say select existing security group and select the security group you want to use. So like that, we can create a security group, and same security group can be used for multiple instances for common purposes. So you are allowed to create as many security groups you want. Each security group can have 60 inbound rule and 60 outbound rule as per your requirement. And one more thing, these security groups are region bound. So suppose you have created a security group in North California, it will only work in North California. It is not going to be available in Mumbai and Hyderabad. There also you have to create new security groups as per your requirements. So this is all about your security groups that we are going to use in our next few videos as well. Thank you very much for joining. We will stop the session here and see you soon.